WHTM-TV 27 News at 5 starts now with your forecast first with meteorologist Juklo.
And good evening. What an incredible last few days of weather we had. Sunshine, low humidity, temperatures near 80 degrees. Humidity stays low. It looks like for even most of next week. Notice we don't even bump it up into that noticeable category until probably next Thursday or Friday. The clouds will be stubborn again overnight as we see the southeast flow continue. So tomorrow morning you'll wake up and be thinking, here we go again. Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. But now, of course, we have to get to the grill. Carnes is here providing for another great selection of food. And with us, we have Andrea Carnes. I think we see a pretty quick change over to sleet, especially along and south of I-81. So even though we're not going to see a lot of snow from this, the sleet will be a problem for this afternoon. Well, so far so good this morning. Lots of sunshine across most of the viewing area. Looking east here over top Chambersburg, lots of blue skies. Air mass this morning that we see more typically in late April, early May, but things are going to change over the next few days. How warm does it get and when does the humidity finally come back? We'll talk about it in less than 10 minutes. We're only at a trace right now. If we don't get any measurable snow by the end of the week, that'll put us in historic territory. Only 2 other February months have seen a trace of snow. One of the homeowners said that her husband heard what sounded like a freight train just after 8 o'clock last night. Thankfully, they heard it just in time. This is a loop only going back the last 2 or 3 hours, so at times this line has been moving east at around 90, 100 miles per hour. Anytime you get the temperature this low, even the slightest of wind can make it feel colder than it actually is. So we do have a real feel temperature of 8 in Tower City, 4 in Lancaster. See this band of snow that's about to move into Pittsburgh? That's ahead of a warm front. That'll be moving our way as we head toward, let's say, about 10 a.m. this morning. A rather gloomy look over the Susquehanna River. These low clouds really keeping our temperatures in check. Have our weather app handy because any storm today could be strong. The Storm Prediction Center did bump us up into the elevated category for pretty much the entire area. If we could get storms to fire up, they were going to rotate rather easily. Just because they're rotating does not mean it's producing a tornado, but of course it's something we just got to keep a very close eye on. Bigger storm of concern right now is this one moving into western Juniata County, moving southeastward. And good morning, everybody. Meteorologist Juklo here with you. Wanted to come on and talk a little bit more about Dorian. What's going to happen over time is that high is actually going to weaken and that low is going to pull away. Now you see why it's going to slow down. There is nothing to push this thing once it gets over the Bahamas. So that's why it's going to be likely a devastating blow. Lebanon camera, some of the side streets there, as the intensity picks up, that's when we start to see a fresh coating of snow on some surfaces. It's going to take a few more hours for the atmosphere to recover, but obviously this time of the year, the sun is at its highest angle. Daylight goes through 8 o'clock, and then it looks like by this afternoon, and we could potentially be talking about feels like temps 105 to maybe even 110 degrees. It does look like we have another burst of snow that's just starting to form pretty much right over the heart of the viewing area. So you can see from Perry County extending south right at the end of that frame right there, down toward Gettysburg, traveling east toward York. At one point, the western side of the storm started to get a little sheared apart. Notice how it kind of started to vanish there, and then boom, more thunderstorm activity now. So Perry County, Juniata County, you're getting the worst of the activity right now. So if you're watching us from Thompsontown near Mifflintown, looks like just northwest of Newport. And we do have a storm report that's just come in from Huntington County of thunderstorm wind damage. Numerous trees reported down on Covered Bridge Road. What we're looking at here is velocity. So where you see this bright red signature, that is wind moving this way. Where you see the greens and the grays there, that's wind moving as we call inbound. So the tornado would be right in there. So basically this circulation is now centered just to the east of Halifax. All these counties here shaded in pink, that's a severe thunderstorm watch. So the entire mid-state remains in a severe thunderstorm watch through this evening. That means be on guard. The conditions are there to support a few severe thunderstorms directly southeast toward places like Tower City. So putting a track on that here, fear not, Sacramento, Tower City, Gold Mine. This tornadic thunderstorm is moving in your direction. If you live anywhere in northern Dauphin County and western Lebanon County, so basically Jonestown points west, you want to make sure that you're in a safe place. Whitetail Resort in Mercersburg, Franklin County is a popular winter destination for not just those of us in Pennsylvania, but even those south of the Mason-Dixon line. Even though winter has been a little lackluster, it hasn't stopped families from making the hours-long drive to hit the slopes.
Okay, there you go.
There's nothing skiers like more than Mother Nature's snow, followed by consecutive cold, dry days. Sadly, in central Pennsylvania, our winters are far from perfect.
If you get like a real wet, warm weather spell and then it gets cold again, that makes it challenging. It's more like ice skating.
It seems like there's definitely been a decline in the amount of snow we've been getting the past few years.
But with the challenges come opportunity. Snowmaking at resorts like Whitetail has gotten more sophisticated with hundreds of low-energy snow guns that allow for more aggressive snowmaking and a faster rebound from poor conditions.
So the water goes into the gun. Some of them have onboard compressors, which creates the water pressure. Some of them, there's another whole channel of pipe that is sending pressurized air to the snowmakers as well. Combination of those two things hitting the air, pressurized water hitting the air, creates snow.
The snowmaking team pays close attention to the wet bulb temperature, a value also important to meteorologists. It considers the effects of both temperature and humidity, or the dew point. When moisture falls into cold, dry air, it initially evaporates, which acts as a cooling mechanism. This cooling continues until the air is fully saturated, hence why it becomes cold enough to snow. The drier the initial air, the lower the wet bulb temperature.
We like to have a wet bulb temperature in the 20s or below. We can start making snow at a wet bulb of about 28, which typically will correspond with a below freezing temperature.
The strategy is simple. While the conditions are right, take full advantage, even if it's during the day.
It's not always the ideal scenario to be making snow on our guests, but when we're in these sort of scenarios where we're still trying to open terrain and to be able to give our guests the best experience possible, we're going to continue to make snow so that we can be here through those periods when we do have temperatures that are into the 30s and 40s.
Since 2010, all but 2 Decembers have featured above average temperatures. 0.2 inches of snow fell in December 2018 and 2019 combined. However, in March, 7 of the last 10 were below average when it comes to the temperature. This shift has given hope to those who haven't been able to ski much in December.
So it takes us a little more time to get to 100%, but we enjoy that 100% much longer into March than we have. And spring skiing is a fantastic thing to have, longer days and warmer temps.
The first half of February should bring improvements to the ski season as we transition to seasonable temperatures and a more active wintry pattern. For ABC 27 News, I'm meteorologist Juklo.